couldn't use a quick and easy sweet treat that requires no baking, no skill, no technique? I'm talking about something fast, fun, and yummy. That's about the best way I can describe these chocolate-covered marshmallows. These marshmallow kebabs are inspired by a recent Thanksgiving trip my husband and I took to France, where their Christmas markets were in full swing. One of the little market chalets featured skewered marshmallows and fruit like strawberries and bananas covered in chocolate and decorated with a different color chocolate. We thought it was such a clever idea, I wanted to replicate it. Let's check out these easy festive chocolate covered marshmallow kebabs. Oh, and you'll want to stay to the end for the bonus holiday treat on using up all of that candy and holiday edible decor that you have been gathering up for who knows how long. For the ingredients, you'll need skewers like bamboo or metal, large jet puffed marshmallows, semi-sweet milk and or white chocolate chips, shortening and optional holiday decor like nonpareils, sprinkles, crushed peppermint, or whatever you like. Basically, all you need to do is heat up the chocolate, which you can do in a slow cooker, skewer marshmallows, and spoon chocolate over them. That's pretty much it. First, we want to simply melt the chocolate and the shortening. You'll need 320 grams, which is 2 cups of chocolate chips, whichever color you prefer for the main chocolate base. I'm using semi-sweet. You can use milk or white. And for a smooth, easy covering of the chocolate, we're also going to add 30 grams, which is 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of shortening. Here are 3 easy methods for melting the chocolate. Method 1, you simply melt the chocolate and shortening in the microwave in 30-second intervals, stirring in between each. Method 2, melt the chocolate and shortening in a double boiler over the stove. Method 3, melt the chocolate and shortening in a slow cooker using a bain-marie method. So for ease, I'm using the slow cooker. So in the slow cooker, you want to add enough water to be about 1 to 2 inches above or around the bowl that you stick in the slow cooker. So with my chocolate and shortening in the bowl, I'm just placing it in the slow cooker in the water, making sure not to get any water in the bowl or your chocolate will seize. Turn your slow cooker to low, keep the lid off, and set the timer for about 45 minutes to an hour. You're going to stir the chocolate and shortening periodically until it has completely melted. Regardless of your heating method, just make sure that you stir the chocolate and shortening until both are melted and combined. All right, you can see that our chocolate is nice and melted. So now that we can dip our marshmallows. I love using the slow cooker for this because it will stay hot and you don't have to keep heating up the chocolate like you would in the microwave as it starts to cool. So this one will just keep it nice and perfectly melted as we're using it for our candy. Place some wax paper on a baking sheet. And you'll want to wash and dry some skewers. And the way they did it in France was they skewered the marshmallows on, and they actually did about 5 or 6. I think I'm gonna go with 5. And you want to place your marshmallows about 1/4 to 1/2 inch apart because we want that chocolate to ooze down in between them so that we can see the separation of each marshmallow. And depending on the size of your skewers, you can put more or less. All right, so now you can see we've got a little separation between each marshmallow. We're just gonna set it down. And you can continue skewering as many marshmallows as you would like. With your marshmallows over the bowl of chocolate, you just wanna use a spoon and then just drizzle the chocolate down the stick with the marshmallows and just allow the chocolate to ooze back into the bowl. That way you're not wasting any chocolate. You also want to make sure you get it in between the marshmallows. And just rotate that stick around. Then I like to just dip that last marshmallow into the chocolate to make sure that the bottom gets all covered. And then there you have it. There's your chocolate covered marshmallow kebabs. You might want to let the chocolate just drain a bit off the bottom marshmallow. Okay, this is the most basic decor for your chocolate covered marshmallows. You could actually just leave the marshmallows just like this and let the chocolate set. And you would have this incredible, tasty little dessert of chocolate covered marshmallows. And then you just want to place your marshmallows on the wax paper so that it can dry. You could also add some little holiday decor. Edible decor, that is. This can be a little bit messy. The decor will help keep the chocolate from oozing down onto the wax paper. Okay, one down. Let's try another. You could use any chocolate that you want. I've got a picture of some white chocolate being used on the ones that we saw in France. Okay, we're gonna let the next one just sit as well and set. This one I'm gonna let dry as is, and then we're just gonna add some white drizzle chocolate over the top just to give it a nice two-tone color decor. Continue to add marshmallows to your skewers, cover them in chocolate, and then we're gonna allow all of our skewers to sit at room temperature. You could also put them in the fridge, and you'll need to do it for about an hour or so until the chocolate has set. If you have any little bit of chocolate left over, don't throw it out. Guess what? You can make some little chocolate candies out of it. Throw in some marshmallows, kind of look around your house and see what you have. I'm gonna throw in some pretzels. If you want to, I've got some leftover little M&Ms. And just give it a stir and then scoop it out onto wax paper, and then you've got some little holiday candy that you can enjoy. I'm actually gonna throw in some dried cranberries too. Add a little bit of fruit to it. Once you get it all stirred up, then just put little spoonfuls on wax paper. You've got little haystacks. It's a bonus dessert with this chocolate covered marshmallows. And you know what I like to do with this? Put it a blob into my hot chocolate. You've got a little treat with a little crunch, sweetness to go on top of your hot chocolate. And there you have it. Waste not, want not with our holiday desserts. For a bonus candy, why not just go back and add some color to it to make it pretty, so it's not just brown haystacks. Whenever you do chocolate covered desserts, you can always take leftover treats that you have and make little haystacks. It's a good way to make a quick candy, and it's very tasty, particularly if you add specific ingredients, the ones that you like. And then throw in some color on top with some sprinkles and nonpareils. Haystacks with some color. Once your marshmallow kebabs have mostly set, I just have mine in the fridge. If you wanted to add another layer of chocolate, I just melted a few chocolate chips, some white chocolate chips, and then I'm just gonna drizzle these two that I just sort of left plain. If you notice the way the French did it at that market, they took just some different colored chocolate and then they just drizzled it over the primary chocolate color, and it just added a color contrast to it. And it wasn't a lot, it was just very simple, and it was just a simple drizzle, just like this. So that adds a little bit of elegance to it. You also notice this picture, they used a milk chocolate over a dark chocolate. So even just a two-tone chocolate works as well. Okay, now this won't take as long to set up, and basically only takes about 30 minutes for these to set up. So take a look, the ones that we covered with sprinkles, notice those are ready to go. And of course, they're sitting flat, and as they do so, the chocolate sort of gathers at the bottom, and you don't have quite as many pretty ones at the bottom. But the French version did the same thing. If you look at theirs, they have a flat bottom as well. And of course, here's another one. Mainly people are gonna be looking at the top anyway. So that's it, they're all ready. So now we can just pick them up. You can place them on a serving platter, like so. And just make them pretty. Can you imagine that in a hot chocolate? Oh, it's a lot of marshmallow and chocolate. All right, we're gonna look at this one. This one's a little bit wonky for some reason. But then the way the French did it was they just, in the windows, they just had them stacked on top of each other, like this. Tell them what you wanted, and they would just pick it up and give it to you. You can notice that they're definitely set. The chocolate has hardened, and it does work well in the fridge. And probably that's where you want to put them anyway, because with the shortening in the chocolate, they still look nice and smooth. They don't look discolored at all, even though the chocolate was in the refrigerator, but I think it's because the shortening helps keeps the texture and the coloring just right. You can see the spaces in between the chocolate, which is where we let the chocolate ooze down in between. Again, the shortening thins the chocolate enough so that you can see those crevices. If you don't put the shortening in it, the chocolate's gonna likely be a little too thick. So let's just take one off. Now remember, it is marshmallow, so it's gonna be a little bit sticky. Look at that, just oozes off of the stick. The chocolate stayed intact around the marshmallow. The marshmallow is soft, but the chocolate, it's not so hard that you can't break the chocolate, but yet you can cut into it and you've got that nice, pretty, soft marshmallow. You can see the marshmallow on the inside with the chocolate surrounding it and the pretty decor on the outside. So there you are. You can see what a fun dessert this could be for kiddos or adults who are a kid at heart. All right, let's give it a taste. The chocolate cracks nicely, but since we put shortening in the chocolate, it's not gonna be hard and crispy or crunchy. It separates easily from the marshmallow as though it's one unit. You can imagine additional textures and flavors when you have something like this where you have decor all over it. And it adds such a nice crunch to the simple sweet treat. If you like marshmallows and chocolate, this dessert is a total win and it's fun. If you don't have any time to make cookies for the holiday platter or your baking skills are a little limited, no worries. Give this one a try. I'm sure Santa will be just as happy with these chocolate covered marshmallows as he would with holiday cookies. And don't forget the extra treat you can create at the end using whatever extra food that you have left over in the pantry, and you can make great little haystacks and top them with pretty color decor, and it looks like a great sweet treat. I'm going to show you what the inside of the bark looks like. It's easier to cut it with a knife for me because there's so many different types of fillings inside. You can see the pretzels, you've got the marshmallows, and then I can get a little bit of red from the dried cranberries. Even though this is simple, it makes a great little sweet treat to use up some sweet ingredients that you have or the extra chocolate that may be just sitting around in your pantry. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Until next time, make a simple sweet treat like these chocolate covered marshmallows. And of course, go bake the world.